What started out as a peaceful anti-war demonstration, with thousands of protesters marching through the streets of Chicago,
move back, you gotta go west,
ended with violence as demonstrators threw objects at officers and repeatedly defied police orders to disperse.
Please continue to disperse to the west.
Officers made several arrests during the clashes, which occurred just blocks away from McCormick Place, where world leaders gathered for the NATO summit. Security was already tight, days after several men were charged with plotting terrorist attacks in Chicago during the NATO event. The random violence at the end of the protest was not what organizer Andy Thayer had hoped for. He secured the permit for Sunday's events and says the beefed-up police presence in the city was intimidating.
Their message is about scaring people from marching, scaring people from participating and exercising their First Amendment freedoms.
every day.
Dozens of U.S. military veterans who served in Iraq and Afghanistan were the focus of Sunday's anti-war protests. After marching through the city with civil rights activist Jesse Jackson,
and I learned the Army values.
They took the stage to symbolically return medals they received in combat.
Also, for all the service members and veterans who are against these wars, you are not alone.
The day began with a large rally that attracted protest groups from around the world, a wide variety of opponents of the NATO military alliance and military action in general.
We are the 99!
They included members of a leftist women's group founded in the Philippines. Princess Bustos of the Philippine group Gabriela opposes the presence of American troops in her homeland. She said the money that NATO countries spent on military action in Afghanistan could have been used for social programs in the United States, where she now lives.
No money for education, no money for health care, but yet the continued increased military spending is prioritized over the interests and the needs of the majority of the population here in the U.S.
Canadian protester Alison Bodine traveled from Vancouver to take part in the day's anti-war events in Chicago. She hopes the world leaders at the summit would understand the demonstrators' overall message.
But we are here today to say abolish NATO, no to NATO. We don't need these military alliances that create war and occupation around the world. What we need is real solidarity between human beings.
Solidarity is on the minds of the NATO leaders in Chicago, planning the future of their military cooperation in Afghanistan and beyond. Kane, Farabaugh, VOA News, Chicago.